FNAF fan games are terrifying, but there's so much of them that we never are really able to play them all. But there are some that will spook you so bad, people will compliment you on your brown and yellow tie-dyed pants. And those terrifying fan games are what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and I know you're after games that will make you lose your lunch like it was Taco Bell, so here we are with the Top 10 Terrifying FNAF Fan Games, mostly showcasing games that even I didn't know existed. So, let's do it. In at 10, Final Nights. While originally this number was meant to be the Willy's Wonderland fan game, I couldn't find any information on it, and nobody who played this game included links in their description. Yet if we don't put a link to something we play, everyone flips out on us. No matter the double standard, Final Nights is much more fitting game for this list. The Final Nights series as a whole is pretty inventive. Starting off the series with Mike Schmidt fleeing the FNAF 1 pizzeria after it's losing power, but it being followed by a mysterious entity that escaped from Freddy called the Brother, and then escalates from there, eventually adding the Reaper animatronics and the mechanics of actually having to sleep to pass time in FNAF 3, ironically the same game the Reapers are introduced. The animatronics are scary, the story is scary, and it's all honestly more disturbing than the original game, and I think that's something that we can all appreciate. And at 9, Before the Good Memory. Before the Good Memory is a FNAF fan game made by GameJolt user Mr. Rybizzle. In this game you play as Richard, who is working at FREDBEAR'S family diner working to save up money to go to Junior's for his son's birthday. I'm assuming that it's the Juniors from Midnight Motorist. But as the GameJolt page puts it, it doesn't go good. The only two animatronics in the game are Spring Bonnie and Golden Spring Freddy, aptly named Fredbear, because, you know, it's Fredbear. But features Helpy on the office desk, which I don't think would happen, but hey, whatever, it's a fan game. After entering the office in this free roam diner, the player activates the animatronics that will begin free roaming and will charge at the player when seen, but you can lean around corners and turn your flashlight off to minimize your visibility. The game is definitely an interesting one and a different take on gameplay, and the sound design is good as well, making the jump scares really hit. In at 8, The Twisted Carnival. When 5 children are mysteriously found dead unexplainably after a ride on a Ferris wheel, it's obvious that something strange is happening, and the secrets must be uncovered. Working as a night guard at King's Carnival has its perks, like getting unfettered access to the park during the day, but during work hours, expect to spend long nights fending off Bear Hug and his gang of mechanical husks as you plunge deeper into the darkness of the Twisted Carnival. Can you solve the mystery? The Twisted Carnival is made by GameJolt user Galva_ and includes everything you love about a FNAF game. Multiple angles, a big door, or in this case a window, mini games, and terrifying animatronics. There is currently only a demo available, but nonetheless these animatronics are hella spooky. With characters like Foxtrot, Bonzo, Bear Hug, Chixie, and there is bound to be plenty of horror come the full game release, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm certainly not going to be playing it, but others will. And at 7, Baby's Nightmare Circus. This time you've gotten lost in your mind. You're trapped, unable to wake and remember. Best guess is to defend yourself in your dreadful sleep. Use your flashlight to ward off unwanted creatures. Venture to tents to explore. Find a way out. Created by Mixless on GameJolt, this is probably the scariest FNAF fan game based on Baby and the Funtime animatronics from what I've seen. These things are messed up and the story will send shivers down your already shaking spine just from looking at these screenshots. If you love Sister Location and the Funtime animatronics, take this game for a spin, because it's basically the Dark Carnival before the Dark Carnival was a real thing. It's great. It's also ironic that I'm saying about this one and not the Twisted Carnival, but that's twisted, not dark. And at 6, Twisted Reality. Created by GameJolt user PanPie, Twisted Reality is based on the second novel of the official FNAF series, The Twisted Ones, but is featuring other fan-made animatronics such as Twisted Fredbear instead of the official Twisted animatronics. The game was cancelled as the developer lost interest in the game, however, he is now currently making a reboot of the game called Twisted Reality Returns. The game takes place in Fazbear's Frightening Museum, where you're the, you guessed it, night guard who has to defend themselves from the dangerous Twisted animatronics buried underground. But during the day, while they may not come out, they still track you. The game currently has 3 animatronics and the player must use different ways to defend themselves. The player has a TV and a security monitor. While TV is used to check on infected Freddies, the player can use the security monitor to check on Twisted Fredbear. The power supply is limited, so the player must make sure to shut off their TV to cool down the generators. There is also a flamethrower feature in camera 3B in the monitor as well. This can be used to ward off any attackers. because, you know, it's fire. And the twisted animatronics are some of the most terrifying ones that we've been described, so it's bound to be fun. Halfway through in at number 5, Golden Memory. Golden Memory, now Golden Memory Remastered, is a fan game created by GameJolt user Wester and features some damn good graphics from what I've been seeing. So if that's your cup of tea, I'd suggest that game for you. The game takes place at FREDBEAR'S Family Diner in 1983 and features 4 animatronics: Spring Bonnie, Fredbear, Freddy, and Bonnie, all with different mechanics, but also simple to send away. The jump scares are scary, and while the gameplay is simple, with animatronics appearing in your office and you needing to click a button to make them go away, when they do appear in your office, it's terrifying. Trust me, play it for yourself and you'll end up yourself. But yeah, play it for yourself, I'm not doing it. In at 4, PORKCHOP'S Horror Show. Created by GameJolt user Fiznom, who is the one developing FNAF Plus as part of the Fazbear Fanverse initiative, PORKCHOP'S Horror Show is a mix of free-roam point-and-click horror with the classic FNAF survival thrown in there to spice things up. Welcome, dear contestant, to the experience of a lifetime inside the reinforced walls of PORKCHOP'S Horror Show, where the brave and mentally unstable alike come to throw their lives away for the promise of money, prizes, and fame. Relatable. Survive the winding corridors of the haunted meat factory, where our mechanical but maniacal friend PORKCHOP will hunt you down and make you wish your death were as quick and painless as a simple jump scare. However, the game is currently on hold since they're prioritizing FNAF Plus, which is understandable, but nevertheless this looks horrifying, and if you want a taste, you can play PORKCHOP'S Adventure, which is a separate GameJolt game, but still by Fiznom. In at 3, Five Nights at Fredbear's 3. Welcome to FREDBEAR'S Family Diner, also known as Williams Restaurant, a new pizzeria burger restaurant based off the old FREDBEAR'S Family Diner and Fredbear and Friends. You work as a security guard from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. and fend off animatronics for 5 nights. Not only that, you have to stay until 7 a.m. to conduct repairs on the animatronics too. You have 5 days until the party, so let's get ready. Five Nights at Fredbear's 3 is getting a free roam remaster coming soon, and the game currently has a demo available as well and features your favorite killer animatronics and more, with new infected variants on the originals from what I've seen in gameplay videos. At least, if they weren't lying. The game is being made by Jordan is Grade 505, which pains me to say because that's my sister's name, on GameJolt, and the demo was released 6 months ago, but they still post regularly on GameJolt, like on their GameJolt page, so you can follow them if you'd like updates. The game looks absolutely horrific and wonderful, but again, I'm not gonna play it. You can. Penultimate lean in number 2, Dormitibus. Dormitibus is a fan game that was developed by Blackout, Owntrick, Stephen Mater, and Super Arthur Bros. Faced with dangerous robotic abominations, the player has to survive 10 nights of terror and panic. The only thing that you're given to defend yourself is an old dusty desktop computer and your own reflexes. The player is challenged by a whole horde of robotic monstrosities who, ironically enough, used to be the protagonist's friends. This game is absolutely nuts, and the story is some of the darkest that I've seen. The game was made before the release of FNAF 4, so only includes details from the first 3 games, but it only needs those. Jesus Christ, if you're into some up then play this game, because there is gore galore. Okay, with animatronics constantly showing decaying muscle and blood and the muscles like stretch. Oh my god. If you've seen any of the alternate animatronic lists on this channel, then you'll have seen the Havoc animatronics or Garvey, this game's version of Springtrap, and just dear god, this was also made before the William Afton name reveal, so there are a lot of things that are different to the main series. If that's what you're into, it's messed up. It's hella messed up, man. I'm telling you. Finally, in at number 1, The Joy of Creation. While Dormitibus may be disturbing, nothing can be as scary as The Joy of Creation. Both the free roam and story modes are horrifying. Created by Nixon on GameJolt, it's no wonder why this game was added to the Fazbear Fanverse. It's the night of August 8th, 2016, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2nd anniversary has passed. Celebrated worldwide, the hit indie horror series and its creator have made themselves a place in modern culture and the hearts of many. In this game, you play through the eyes of Scott Cawthon and his family, as they try to survive inside their own home on the dreadful night that brought the horror into reality. The scorched beings, whose origin and motives are yet unknown, find secrets lurking in the house and uncover the mysterious events that led to the cancellation of the next game in the series. You play in our world, up against ignited versions of our favorite animatronics. How is that not terrifying? You'll be in for a treat when playing this game. Each level has its own gameplay type, so it's not the same thing every night, and it's incredible. If you haven't played it, I highly suggest that you do. I haven't played it, but I've watched it. The fact that it's in our world just makes it so messed up. And you're playing as Scott, and now he announced his retirement, which only makes this more real. And it's not okay.
Number 10, Super FNAF 2, Wonderful Day. This game honestly looks like just a lot of fun. It's been in development since 2017 and is a platformer with lots of dark, hidden secrets for you to uncover. The trailer spins it as a game created kinda by Fazbear Entertainment to promote their franchises, who teamed up with obviously the company LSF Development to actually make the game. LSF Development is the actual creator of the game on GameJolt. There is no expected release date, but the creators are hoping to have it ready soon. At least that's what their page says. I love that it appears as a legit 80s or 90s inspired platformer, but that there are also some dark secrets via perhaps glitches that will likely come up in regards to the true stories behind the restaurants and the animatronics. I also just love that it takes its name from Circus Baby's speech about her wonderful day. I see what you did there, and I like it. Number 9, Five Nights at McDonald's. This was one of, if not the FNAF game to enter development first. This was one of the first, if not the first FNAF fan game to enter development. We're not really sure how far along this game is, but we know it's been in the works for apparently 7 years. The graphics make it look like something that could be released for like Nintendo 64. But hey, Nintendo 64 is well loved by many of us, so that might not end up being a bad thing if it ever actually does get finished. All we have to look at is some very blocky designs for characters and locations. Oh, and a live trailer that is admittedly pretty creepy, but also is live action, so it's more about giving us the feel for this game than any actual idea of what the game would be like to play. Five Nights at McDonald's is being created by Vortex Softworks, and you can follow along on the journey on GameJolt. This is also just a cool one to be aware of and to follow, since it was, you know, apparently like the first one. It's like a bit of FNAF history. FNAF fan-made history. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want more lists like it, be sure to show us by giving this video a thumbs up. I love talking about all the cool fan-made stuff because the community is just so cool and creative, and I love it. So yeah, if you want more fan-made content, let us know. We can celebrate it. Number 8, FREDBEAR'S The Origin / FNAF. FREDBEAR'S is a game that was meant to establish the lore as reimagined by fans of the first Freddy's location, FREDBEAR'S Diner. It's implied based on teaser trailers and the description that you, in fact, may play as the killer in the series, but that at least for a time you're kind of unaware as to if you're responsible for any deaths or if something else might be going on. All in all, it sounds very creepy and mysterious and a little confusing for this story, which I am into. I mean, if I didn't want confusing, would I even be talking about FNAF right now? However, this game seems to have been in development since 2015 and doesn't offer too much in terms of giving us glimpses into what could be upcoming gameplay. FREDBEAR'S is being developed by Copal Images, if it's still being developed. Our last little bit of intel was an opening scene still, which was shared 1 year ago on the GameJolt page for this game. Number 7, Five Nights at Freddy's Laughter and Joy. And we'll laugh and laugh and laugh. This game looks like it has a promising premise from the description, but it will likely never see the light of day or the darkness of night, as it's been in development since 2014. There also isn't much content on its GameJolt page to suggest that it is anywhere close to being ready, or that it has even been continually worked on since it was announced. What we do have is a plot that involves worldwide locations of Freddy's being opened up as the company goes international in an attempt to basically drum up more business. I mean, that feels like a risky move if you were struggling to do well already. Also, where would you then get all that money to open all those locations internationally? But still, it's a cool idea if you can suspend your disbelief when it comes to the actual business side of that. I mean, maybe they were just like, hey, you can open a Freddy's in your place, just like you have to invest all the money. And then I guess it's a good idea. Either way, it's still a cool idea if you can kind of suspend your disbelief when it comes to perhaps the actual business side of that. The other interesting info we are given is an idea of the animatronic roster, including a new animatronic named Jammy Jr., who I really want it to be a cannibalistic Jammy Dodger animatronic. I know that's asking a lot, and I know that we'll probably never get this game, but if that could be a thing, I would love it. Number 6, Animator's Hell. This one has a few demos available, but that's it if you're looking to play. It's by Gestalt Games and can be found on GameJolt if you're looking to check out what is available at this point. The good news is the second demo came out only a few weeks ago. The bad news is that the previous demo came out a year ago, so progress is evidently slow going, and it might mean you have to wait a while before you'll see another demo or even a semi-finished full game when it comes to Animator's Hell. Animator's Hell was tested out on Game Theory Live though, so if you are a fan of MatPat, who had nothing but good things to say it seems, you might want to hit follow on GameJolt for this one, and stay tuned for when this game is fully released. Either way, you've got a couple of playable demos that you can do, and that's more than a lot of games have, so you should check that out. Seems like the demos are pretty fun. I haven't played this one, but it looks pretty fun. Number 5, PYRO-ILLUSION. I guess a lot of these titles choose to be in all caps to, I don't know, attract your eye. I'm not really sure what's up with that, but there are a lot of FNAF titles that are like all in caps. But before PYRO-ILLUSION was PYRO-ILLUSION, in all caps, it was Five Nights at Roxy's. This game has over 20,000 followers, but still doesn't have much beyond preview images and trailers. Of course, all the imagery and glimpses into the world and character design thus far look so good that everyone obviously cannot wait for this game to be released, if it ever does get released. When it gets released? D. Demku has been working on the game for 4 years on GameJolt, it should be noted, so hopefully they're getting close soon because, you know, fans have been waiting for a while. Give us the game, we want to play! But also respect to people making games, because it's really hard work. So, also take your time. Give it to us, but take your time. But give it to us, you know? Number 4, Pop Goes Evergreen. Pop Goes is one of the games that is part of the FNAF Fanverse initiative, and when I say games, I should really be saying the franchise, because Pop Goes has had full games released under the title, but they're now working within the Fanverse, which means some of the previous titles will no longer be considered canon. But this game, Pop Goes Evergreen, and the prequel game, Pop Goes Arcade, will be considered canon in the FNAF Fanverse, so yay. Pop Goes' main character is an animatronic weasel, and while Evergreen is still in development, Arcade is available for you to play if you want to gear up for this exciting new title that will be canon within the FNAF Fan Extended Universe. Exciting stuff! Their page on GameJolt also has a free soundtrack song available for download that makes for some pretty good creepy mood music. Pop Goes Evergreen is being created by Kane Carter, so thanks Kane. Number 3, Five Nights at Candy's 4. This title isn't even fully finished yet. FNAF 4 is currently listed as just that with the words working title following it in brackets. Five Nights at Candy's 4 is also created by Emil Ace Mako, the same creator behind the previous Candy's games within this franchise. And honestly, although there isn't much up for this game yet, it looks like one of the most scary ones to have come from this series. Five Nights at Candy's is also being welcomed into the FNAF Fanverse, so we can also expect to see these games making their way to consoles and mobiles soon. Ace has promised that this game will center more on Candy than on the rat, and will deliver tons more minigames because obviously minigames are the best. FNAF 4 seems to have been worked on for about a year, so while it's currently unreleased, odds are good we can at least expect to see this one at some point in the near future. Yay! Also, I feel like if you're part of the Fanverse, then that's a good sign. Number 2, Sinister Turmoil. Sinister Turmoil was a highly anticipated FNAF fan game that ended up being cancelled. Wah wah wah. However, the good news is there is a smaller version of the game available for fans to play that was released as kind of a final farewell to the project. What's really sad too is this game actually looks so good, so terrifying, and it was only in development for about a year and change before it was abandoned. So they didn't have that much time to create something that was already looking so promising, and yet they did that. Here's hoping that we see more content like this from Angus Games and their team in the future, and that we'll get something else FNAF themed from them, hopefully. The other thing that I love about this one is that it had a more mature rating in comparison to other FNAF fan-made games. So if you were looking for something that's like a little bit more adult in terms of the violence or the content, then this is a game that was trying to do that, which I appreciate as an adult that likes these games. Number 1, PORKCHOP'S Horror Show. This game is a FNAF-inspired fan game with a very different premise from what I'm used to with these fan-made games. In PORKCHOP'S horror show, you play as a contestant looking to earn money and fame as you attempt to escape a maze-like what appears to be asylum filled with death traps, while PORKCHOP attempts to hunt you down and kill you after tormenting you first. It's apparently not going to be an easy kill. That's what the description promises. PORKCHOP'S horror show was, I believe, canceled, but is currently uncanceled and maybe still in development. It is being created by Fiznom on GameJolt and has been in development since 2018. So hopefully it's uncanceled and we'll see it soon. 2018? It's been a while. Which fan-made games are you most hoping to see released soon? Are there any fan-made games that you wish were uncanceled? What games are you most excited to see integrated into the FNAFverse? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, part 2 of our top 10 FNAF fan alternate versions marathon. Win General suggests top 10 Sonic villains that could beat Mario. That would be a pretty cool list. I can already think of a few that I would put on there. Camilla Owosky responds, me watching this video at night while I'm going to sleep. Well, I hope you were able to sleep. I don't know. I hope we didn't keep you up with our scary fan alternate versions. Person 51 requests more FNAF. Okay, here you go. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and your feels shouted out in a future video. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I am your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you to keep on gaming on. Pew pew!